and welcome to Gavilan Connects. I'm Esmeralda Montenegro Owen. As the Thanksgiving holiday approaches, we thought it would be a good idea to learn a bit more about this special day and what it means. Thanksgiving Day is primarily celebrated in the United States and Canada. Because of the long-standing traditions of the holiday, the celebration often extends to the weekend that falls closest to the day it is celebrated. Several other places around the world observe similar celebrations. Historically, Thanksgiving had roots in religious and cultural tradition. And to talk to us a little bit more about Thanksgiving Day, my guest today is Senior Pastor at Gilroy First Baptist Church in Gilroy, Timothy Howe. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here to talk to us about the history of this such special holiday.
Well, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, and it's one of my favorite holidays, and so I'm always glad to share about it and celebrate it as it comes up.
Why is it one of your favorite?
Well, it's a wonderful time to stop and hit the pause button and enjoy being with family and friends. It's a time to say thank you for all the many blessings we have in this world, and we have a lot of challenges, everyone does, but there's a special time to stop and say thank you for the moments, for the good things, for all that we have to celebrate.
Oh, of course, and later on I'm going to ask you about your traditions in your family. But first, let's talk a little bit more about the history of this holiday. When did it start and how?
The tradition of Thanksgiving actually goes back a long way, and many cultures around the world continue to celebrate some form of Thanksgiving. But in the United States, in the North American context, we have traditions that go back to medieval Europe, where the Spanish, the French, the English that brought colonists over to the United States and Canada and in Mexico celebrated different feasts throughout the year. The specific Thanksgiving celebration we celebrate today in the United States is probably most connected to the Pilgrims that arrived in what's Plymouth, what is now Massachusetts today. And they had a very difficult year the first year. Many of them passed away. And they only survived as a result of the Native Americans that helped them to survive. And so the next year, what meager possessions they had, they put together and they celebrated that they had survived. And we traditionally hold on to that being the first Thanksgiving, although they themselves did not recognize a Thanksgiving Day feast per se, probably at least for a couple of more years, when the governor announced in 1623 that there would be a feast. And starting at that time, in Canada and all over the eastern seaboard, different people at different times of the year would have their own celebration, Thanksgiving celebration, usually in conjunction with the harvest of that year. And so for every location, it was a little bit different. It was George Washington, and this is where we find that the Thanksgiving holiday has a big connection with traditional American history. It was George Washington that proclaimed a national day of Thanksgiving in November 26th of 1789 after he became president. And so it became a national day, though it wasn't an annual feast until Abraham Lincoln in 1863 decided that the last Thursday of the November should be a day of national Thanksgiving. He said such in a time of war. It was a hope to maybe bring the nation together and some healing. And even though it was a national holiday, the states that weren't necessarily on the side of the North at that time rejected it until the 1870s, and eventually it became a national holiday. And it's remained ever since our National Thanksgiving Day, though the date was changed. Franklin Delano Roosevelt moved it from the last Thursday in November to the fourth Thursday in November for the reason of giving more time for the Christmas season to buy more things. It was a boost for the economy. So
he was already thinking about Black Friday before.
That's correct. As early as 1941, we were already thinking about commercialization of Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Well, that's really interesting what you said because a lot of people don't even know where it derives from, or the lengthy history that the holiday has. They probably don't even know about Abraham Lincoln. And how the holiday has had all of these transformations, change in dates, and then there's also the food. It's why do we relate to Thanksgiving Day with a turkey?
That's a good question. The original colonists that had Thanksgiving did not eat turkey. They probably ate venison and fish. And it's not something that's on most of our menus on Thanksgiving Day. Some of the foods that we eat for Thanksgiving didn't even exist in North America at the time. But over time they became favorites, especially wild turkey as it was hunted. It was very plentiful in North America, and so it became part of the feast as the days go forward. Today you can hardly imagine a day of Thanksgiving without some form of turkey, even though in my family I think more people like different things. But we like it all. We ate too much. That's our problem. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what each of the different things come as part of the tradition, but it's usually harvest foods because the Thanksgiving was normally around the harvest time.
Right. And so how has it changed? What are the changes that it's gone through in all of these years since it began back, overseas?
Well, initially, the purpose of Thanksgiving was a time of feast to stop and offer thanks to God for the difficulties we've survived and for the bounty that we have around us. And though I think most people still have some idea that that's an important aspect, at least stopping to say thank you, the concept of just overeating or watching football or watching a parade or going shopping seems to have dominated in recent years. And so I don't know that we completely have the tradition of stopping and saying thank you, though I think many people do. Many people spend time with their family saying thanks.
Yes, and now with all of the shopping that it's attributed to this holiday, now that Thanksgiving Day is not even sacred anymore, it seems. There's all these shops opening on the day and the evening of Thanksgiving Day. And there's a little controversy starting now that some people feel that these stores don't care, and they don't care about their employees, and they just care about the bottom line and making money, because their day is that is supposed to be completely off so they can celebrate with their family is now being cut short because they have to be at their job by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. What do you say to this?
Well, I understand businesses have to make money and they have to survive, and this is an important time of year for them. However, people still are parts of families, and they cherish that time with their family. And my own family, we've had to make adjustments because of work schedules for family members. And it's a shame that we can't just have this time set aside. It was interesting that both George Washington and Abraham Lincoln recognized the importance of not just stopping and saying thankful, but saying thanks to God. So it was a sacred moment for them. And if you look at both George Washington or Abraham Lincoln and Franklin Roosevelt, it was in the middle of a war, and yet they still found time to stop what they're doing to say thanks. And so we can find time. It may be we have to be more creative as individuals or as families to find that time, the right place.
Yes.
If the corporation doesn't allow us to have that time. But it's important to stop, because in the end, we're not here just like a rat on a rat wheel, just working to make money. We're here to celebrate life, celebrate each other, to offer thanks to our Creator, and to say thank you for the lives that we have.
Exactly. Great. So we're going to take a break. And when we return, we're going to talk a little bit more about your family traditions.
Good.
And so you can share with us what your family does during this special day. So we'll be back after this.
Chapman felt the court had no jurisdiction to prosecute Wairigi.
We're live in San Jose. I'm Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
Sus raíces fueron del campo, ahí empezó él. Ahí empezó.
The majority of Americans don't come from the fields of Salinas in blistering heat and reach the pinnacle of a given industry.
My dad was called a bracero. He came here back during the Korean War, second wave of the bracero program. Sometimes I wouldn't see him because he worked out in the fields, and sometimes that required him to get up at 2 in the morning and turn the sprinklers on.
No teníamos para darles todo lo suficiente.
Since he was a little boy, we knew he was not going to be like the rest of us.
To see a young man who comes from this background, whose family had to work just to struggle to survive, but instilled in him the value of getting an education.
If I failed in school, the consequences were I'd go back in the fields, and it scared the living daylights out of me.
He actually hand-wrote a letter to himself, a sign actually, and he taped it to his bedroom door that said, "I will be a TV journalist."
It took the industry a long time to hire people of Latino, Hispanic, Chicano background.
Even when you think that it's dark, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We had to push, and it can be done, and Damien has proved that it can be done.
I want my kids to know what it's like. This is what Daddy used to do, Mommy. Yes. When the camera lights go off at 6:30 after my live shot, it's not over. It's never over. There's a lot of work to do still.
Thank you for continuing with us. We are talking to Pastor Timothy Howe, and we're talking about Thanksgiving and its history and the traditions. So let's talk about what your family does for this special day. And is it a one-day celebration, or is it the entire weekend, 4 days?
Well, the biggest day is the one day, because that's when everyone could get the day off. And my family is a very large family, the one I grew up in. I lost track of exactly how many relatives would come to these events. I know the largest one we had over 70 people come.
Wow.
So it was a very large family, and we had lots of food. Everyone brought different things, and I remember we always ate too much. That was a big part of it. And for some people, they have pumpkin pie, but my grandmother would make pumpkin pie, apple cake, pecan pie, chocolate cake, chocolate pie. We had Boston cream pie.
Are you
lemon
hungry
meringue
yet?
pie. It was just all of these we normally had 2 or 3 turkeys. We always had ham. We always had chicken and dressing. So it was always a big, big feast. We had family coming from different states, and we'd all spend this time together. We always played football. That was one of our family traditions. It was funny because the children would eat first so that we'd be quiet and go play, and we'd be out of the way, and then the adults would eat after us. It was always loud at our house, and it was a lot of fun.
Right.
Some of these cousins I did not see for the next year. I wouldn't see them again until Thanksgiving. The one day was the big day for us. And then the next few days, we would get together with some of the cousins and spend time together, and always with my grandparents. And so it did turn into more than a few days. And then we had families that lived in other states. So one year we went and saw them for Thanksgiving, on several occasions actually, twice we did. And that was always a pleasure.
Well, it sounds like a very special time for you and your family.
It was. And we were starting, one of the traditions is we always put the Christmas tree up at the end of the weekend of Thanksgiving, and that sort of acknowledged that Christmas was coming now.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of families do that nowadays. And you have lived in other countries as well.
That's correct.
Have you been abroad during Thanksgiving?
I have about 9 years. I have been not in the United States during Thanksgiving, and that's always a time that you miss family a lot.
Yeah.
Other countries do celebrate Christmas or a holiday similar to it, so that one I could kind of learn their traditions. But Thanksgiving is a very American holiday, and so when I lived in other countries, I didn't necessarily experience it. It was kind of strange to have a normal day.
Yeah, so it would just be a normal day.
It would be a normal day, that's right. And I try to tell my friends, well, this is a special day in the United States, but they didn't fully appreciate it.
Yes, and now that you have your own family, you have 3 children, and of course your wife Kim. How do you prepare as a family unit for this holiday?
Usually it's very easy for us because my wife's family lives in California here, and we go spend Thanksgiving with them, and they prepare all the food, and I watch the football games.
Okay.
But we also spend time together, and we have a good time. The kids always have a project in the morning, them and their cousins, where they will make some sort of turkey design or draw some pictures or paint something, and then they show it to us right before dinner, and we know that's time for lunch because everything is ready. And her family eats a little earlier. My family always ate Thanksgiving meal at 3 o'clock. Her family usually eats around 1 o'clock. So when the kids do their craft, we know, oh, it's about time to eat.
Okay. And are the kids usually excited about this day or more for Christmas?
No, they're very excited about Thanksgiving. And we have a tradition in our family now we're starting, and that is we always watch a movie on Thanksgiving night.
Okay.
So we'll eat our dinner, we'll have a great time, and then we go watch some movie together. And we try to choose a family movie so the kids can enjoy it. And they're looking forward to that as well.
Okay, well, it sounds really exciting, and the food is always there, and it's a lot.
It's always too much. I always feel guilty, but you know, what can you do?
Well, you know, there's the New Year resolutions, right, coming.
That's right, that's right. And we have one tension in our family now because my family is all a football family, so there was never a question. We watched the Lions and then the Cowboys. But my wife's family likes to watch the Macy's Day Parade.
Yes.
So we have to have a little bit of give and take.
Of course. That's what it takes. All right. Well, we're going to take a very short break. And when we return, I also want to talk to you about Thanksgiving and the traditions at your church. Sure. So you will talk to us about that when we return.
Are you having trouble achieving your goals due to lack of proper resources? Can't find a quiet place to study? Then come to the Student Success Center, located in Portable 11. Here we create a proper studying atmosphere, well equipped with the technology you need. Need some help catching on your homework? Sign into a quiet room where you can successfully focus on your work. Backed up on class credits, or you're not taking the right classes? Here, you can talk to a student success counselor that can talk to you through the right college credits.
The Teachers Learning Center. It's an opportunity for teachers to enhance their teaching skills. It's located in the library's mezzanine. It's a place where instructors can learn about Excel grading, iLearn, and much more. It's a perfect place to have a meeting or just a place to relax. It's open daily, Monday through Thursdays, 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Fridays, 8:30 to 3 p.m. So come on by.
Hello and welcome back. We are here with Pastor Timothy Howe, and we are talking about Thanksgiving. And we talked about the history of Thanksgiving, and also we talked about your family traditions on this special holiday. And you are senior pastor at Gilroy First Baptist Church here in Gilroy, California. And what are the traditions and programs that you offer at the church during this special time?
Well, this is, in fact, this week we will have our Thanksgiving meal that we always celebrate. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and it's one of the largest turnouts we have at our church. People enjoy spending time with each other. Yes. You know, in essence, we are one large family, and we want to encourage each other. We say words of encouragement to each other. We also spend time where we tell the Lord what we're thankful for in our own lives. It's important to stop and look at what we have that's good. You know, we can find problems, but we can also find the good things, and we share those as a community and encourage each other. We'll even have people stand up and say them out loud to one another. We always have a time of games, so this year our game is going to be focused something similar to a Wheel of Fortune type game, and it makes it live and fun for the people that are participating. And plenty of food. I think this year we have quite a few turkeys and ham as well.
Oh, wow.
And so lots of food. We enjoy that very much. And then we always finish the evening with Christmas carols, at least one. And once again, sort of like our family tradition, we're thinking toward the next season, which is going to be the Christmas season.
The transitional period.
That's right. And that's the evening of the Thanksgiving meal, but this is also the time of year we start kicking off. We start helping with the homeless ministry that we feed. And that's a way to show you're also thankful too, is by giving back.
Of course. Can you tell us a little more about this?
That's right.
And how people can participate also.
Absolutely. And we're not the only church in town that does it. Many organizations in town does this. But we help out with the Armory. We feed the homeless. Our particular week is the Thursday evenings, and that always coincides with Thanksgiving. Some of our crew is not normally at our Thanksgiving dinner. They go and help to feed. And anyone that wants to participate can do so, because these men and women that are without are hungry. Right. And so many people, by sharing the burden together, can take care of this need. And so each evening there are meals prepared, and people that are serving it, and just showing people dignity and kindness and our sense of Thanksgiving.
Of course, and if anyone would like to participate, they can contact you
they can contact the church directly, for example. Okay. The phone number there is 408-847-6000.
Yes, and there it is, and that's the address to the church also. And you can call that phone number, 408-847-6000. And they'll be able to provide you with information about the church and also about the different activities that they offer throughout the year, but especially during the holiday season, which starts with Thanksgiving. And and how many volunteers do you have usually?
Well, it's interesting because you said that correctly. This actually kicks off quite a few different opportunities. We put together items for children and for families in need at the Christmas time. Right. We'll put together bicycles we give away and gifts that we give away. Also school products for children that are going to school that don't have, or hygiene products. So we're able to minister to a lot of different people that way. We participate in the community giving that gives the food boxes to families that are in need. So there are many different opportunities, and the numbers of volunteers are never enough. We always have dozens or more sometimes, it just depends, but we could always use many more for any of these sorts of ministries as well.
Yes, and we've had Lisa Bruce with Unspoken Works here a couple of times to talk to us about all of these different activities and programs geared towards the needy, especially when you talk about kids. You really don't think, oh, that they need so much, but the need is huge and it's increasing every day. And you know, thank goodness for having Unspoken Works and for the Gilroy First Baptist Church to be a supporter and you know, of this program. And so if you're listening, you want to help, call the church and find out how you can help and get involved. There's also a website that you can go to, and it's www.fbcgilroy.org. And there's a phone number and address again, and then there's an email that you can send your questions or if you want to offer your help. And it's info@fbcgilroy.org. I don't know if we have that and we can put it up. And what else is there about Thanksgiving that is special, or what should we think about when this time comes around every year?
Obviously, we think about family, and I will call all of my family at this time of year. I have a brother and sisters and my parents that I will call and say how grateful I am for them. Mm-hmm. The same with our neighbors, our friends, our co-workers. And it's very important to share with these people how much you appreciate them. Everyone likes that word of Thanksgiving. Yes. But I believe as a pastor, it's also important for us to share with our Lord because He created all of this. I believe that with my heart. And even though we have challenges in this world, we seem to always make it, and we make it with enough. And so it's important to pause and spend that time of self-reflection and that time of Thanksgiving.
Yes, and we're here at Gavilan College, and some of the crew is very young, that is behind the scenes right now with us, and some of the students will be watching this show. As the new millennials are heading into the workforce and being adults, what is your recommendation for them or message?
Well, it's very important. The spirit of Thanksgiving, the season of Thanksgiving is not about oneself. It's about other people, recognizing the needs that other people have, but also recognizing the contributions other people have. And so I would say, don't focus on self, focus on others, and you'll take care of yourself as time goes by. Be generous in spirit, no matter what your state in life is.
Yes, because I've noticed that, a lot of times in talking to the youth that it's all about me. And, but you're right, when you do something for someone else, it's the reward and the feeling is so much greater than doing something that would only benefit yourself.
And I think there's a unique role each person can play that no one else can do. And you think, well, what can I do in this situation? What can I do in this? But you can do something. And I think if each person contributes, we can make a big impact. Not everyone can help feed this person or take care of this child's need, but you can do your part. And if each of us does our part, these great needs that we find around us will be taken care of.
Right. And if, let's say there's someone, they're living here in Gilroy or close by, and their family is away, and they are feeling maybe a little bit sad that they have no one to celebrate with. What do you think would be the best, or something that they could do to make them feel good about themselves or to share the day in happiness?
Well, obviously, we welcome to join us anytime you want to have friends or family. We could participate together. They could contact the email that you've given, info@fbcgilroy.org. We'd be happy to make friends with them. But I think if they reach out to their community as well, their neighbors, get to know your neighbors, get to know your friends, your coworkers. Don't feel alone, because we're not alone in this world. You have people around you.
Yes, so take that message. And anything else you would like to say about Thanksgiving and the kickoff to the holiday season?
Well, I would say this much. For the holiday season, as it's about to start, there's going to be a lot of commercials asking for our dollars and to be involved in things way too much. But try to remember the reason for the season. Share joy with people, share blessings with people, and kindness to people, and celebrate the reason for the season. Yes, and do you have any plans with your family this year to stay in the area, or will you be traveling? We actually have a special plan we just told the kids about. For Thanksgiving, we're going to Disneyland. Wow. So it's a big trip for us this year. And then Christmas we'll be back here again. So. Well, that sounds like a very special day, and they will appreciate it and like it and enjoy it, I'm sure. Your congregation, how involved are they in this day and volunteering in the community? Well, I think this season probably attracts more volunteers than any other. And I think people are active in volunteerism throughout the whole year. But something touches the heart of people when they are thinking of Thanksgiving, they're thinking of Christmas, especially as the two are combined. We start realizing that the world's not supposed to be just about us, it's about other people, to reach out, to show kindness, love, joy, and peace. And so I think more people than ever at this time of year will go and help take care of needs of other people. Right. So I think our congregation is the same way. More people will show up to feed the homeless, for example, than most things throughout the year. or to take care of Unspoken Works, another organization you talked about, or meet needs through other organizations than at any other time of the year. So it's a special blessing for me to look back and see that in our group.
Great, perfect. Well, thank you so much to Pastor Timothy Howe for being here with us to talk about Thanksgiving, his family traditions, the church tradition at Gilroy First Baptist Church here in Gilroy, and for giving us so much information on the real meaning of Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you soon next time. Take care. Bye-bye.